A lot of people have been talking noise about the Big Red. When Raiola slings it, you get on your feet, and I want 4 quarters of smash mouth football!
Welcome, Husker fans. Thank you for tuning in to Big Red Radio, the Husker Talk Show. I am your host, Caleb. Next to me, as always, is my co-host, Zach. Zach, how you doing today?
Doing pretty good. It's good to be 3-0. It's good to be ranked. It's good to be in the media. It's good. 3 home night games in a row is shouldn't be allowed. I'll tell you that. Definitely seems like an advantage our way. I think there's possibility for this Illinois night game to be crowd-wise, just as big as that Colorado game. I think overall, if you take the rivalry out of it, it's definitely a bigger game. Means more in the conference, obviously.
It's a ranked.
Illinois is a better team. That's kind of our prove-it game. Right, it's our prove-it game, essentially. And so if it was a message to the fans, I'd say, this one means more, and so make it seem like that too.
Right. So today we're going to obviously preview the Illinois game, but first we're going to get to the Northern Iowa game. But before we do, make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell so you never miss an episode. Follow all the socials, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and Twitter. That's where we send all of our updates and everything like that. We send the video out on there as well. So make sure you follow us all there. They're all in the description. But getting to Northern Iowa first, we're each going to do our biggest takeaways. So one of my biggest takeaways was the offense is very efficient. I think I heard a stat last night. Dylan Raiola has only thrown 1 incompletion on passes less than 10 yards beyond the line of scrimmage. So efficiency is key in the offense. Move the ball up and down the field with ease. They've been playing clean. We'll get to that a little bit later. They've been playing clean, and if they continue to play clean with minimal turnovers, Nebraska's not going to lose a lot of games. So if we continue to do that, I'm looking forward to the rest of the season.
Yeah, for sure. My first takeaway is that even when the defense seems to be, I don't know if struggling is the right word, but maybe the right word would be like maybe when they're just not doing so hot, right? When they're playing bad. In years past,
they're not up to standard.
Correct. When they're up to standard, right? In years past, you look at games like 2020, I think it was 2021 Iowa. Obviously, we get the punt blocked, and that was definitely a turning point in the game. Maryland, right? We throw the pick, we lose. Minnesota, we throw the pick, we lose. Illinois, back Scott Frost's first year, we go out and we lose. And so even though we didn't play good, we found a way to get off the field. We went to the sideline, we regrouped, and we came out and we looked like a different team, right? And so that's really the biggest thing for me is that they can flush it so fast out here.
Yeah, that's a big thing. And I'll kind of just go off that with one of my other points was the defense kind of got their wake-up call. I know it sounds crazy saying your wake-up call is only allowing 3 points in a game, but if you watch the game, you saw that UNI moved the ball on Nebraska. Tackling wasn't great. They said that after the game. UNI just couldn't finish drives, through the pick in the red zone, went for it on 4th down, couldn't get it. But I think a lot of that also is due to Matt Rule playing, a lot of depth, rotating a lot of guys in because of the short week. Jamari Butler wasn't playing. Mekhi Bear wasn't in there the first half. So there were a lot of factors that kind of went into that. But I still think it's kind of a wake-up call that, we're not unstoppable. Like, we need to come with our standard, like we said, every single week. Or, a team like Illinois, who's better than UNI, is going to be able to move the ball. So I know we'll get to Illinois later. But, yeah, the defense getting a wake-up call, I think, is a positive and a negative. Obviously, it's a negative just because it didn't look as dominant as it should have. But it's positive because this was the game to get your wake-up call in. Because if you get your wake-up call against a team like Illinois, you might lose that game. Where a team like UNI, Nebraska is just so more talented that it didn't end up mattering a lot.
Yeah, my second takeaway from this, I feel like we did find this out in week 2 as well, but really solidified itself here. And that's that Nebraska knows how to win football games, right? And so first quarter, right, went out through the ball. Dylan Raiola obviously looked incredible out there. But third and fourth quarter, we knew how to control the clock. Offensively, knew how to control the clock. Coaching, knew how to control the clock. Defensively, right, knew how to get off the field, give it back to the offense so they could eat away at the clock and just go out there and win football games. Things like that we did in the third, late in the third and in the fourth quarter as well are actually going to win us big games down the road, whether that be against USC or Wisconsin or Iowa this week against Illinois. Rutgers is a pretty solid team as well. So to put away games like that against teams like that, make this Illinois game 23-10. Same with Rutgers. Same with Wisconsin, Iowa. Beat a team like USC. Be in the fight against a team like Ohio State. You got to know how to win games. You can't just know how to get a lead. You got to know how to put it away too. And so I feel like this week, we held them to 3 points. That's not a terrible offense. That's a really good running back that they have. So they'll do that. And to also, put up enough points in the first half, but not just kind of fizzle out in the second half. Still run an offense, right? Just chew away a ton of clock is huge for me.
Yeah, and that's kind of what Matt Rule said, is he wants every game to be boring in the fourth quarter. He said that's what winning football teams do. So my last takeaway before we get to the Illinois game is Emet Johnson isn't going anywhere in the running back room. Like Dante Dowdo and Ramir Johnson, those two guys are the starters, but Emet Johnson averaged 12.5 yards per carry, 14.5 yards per catch. He was explosive. He's quick. He can run through the tackles as well. He's a perfect complement to Dowdell, I think, in just kind of a different way than Ramirez. So I just wanted to give, a little shout out to Emet Johnson because he's going to get like 10 carries, 12 touches a game, and he's just going to make the most out of them. So I love that. But getting into an Illinois game, we're going to do our X factors. So our X factors going into the Illinois game, my first one is get to Luke Altmaier. He's been efficient. He got sacked last week against Central Michigan 3 times. I can guarantee you Nebraska's D-line is better than Central Michigan's. As I said, Altmaier's been efficient. He hasn't thrown a pick, but he had turnover problems last year. Not saying he didn't get better. I definitely think he could have gotten better, but I think forcing him into some, bad decisions as he's facing pressure can kind of get that turnover problem going again, and that's going to be really big for us.
My first X factor is stopping the run. So Illinois is the first team that's going to be able to test us and test our run defense. Go through our first 3 wins. UTEP, not a very good team. On top of that, they don't run the ball at all. They have a bunch of explosive playmakers, spread you out, run quick offense. Colorado, same way, a bunch of explosive playmakers, spread you out. They got a quarterback that can run around and sling it. They're going to throw the ball a bunch. UNI does run the ball, but at the end of the day, it just wasn't a test for our defense. Nothing against them. They have a good running back and a good coach, but at the end of the day, it just wasn't a test. Illinois can run the ball, and so if you're able to stop the run and then get to Luke Altmaier, because when you stop the run, you obviously force Illinois to pass. I really don't see a way we don't come out and win this game on Friday.
Yeah. So my next one is control the clock / run efficiently. Illinois, I don't think Illinois' offense is anything special. Their run defense actually isn't very good either. Central Michigan ran for over 4 yards a carry. KU ran for over 5 yards a carry, almost 6 yards a carry. Nebraska should have success running the ball. They're definitely going to be the best run defense we've faced because, UTEP's obviously not up to the level. Colorado's run defense is just bad. And then UNI is obviously an FCS team, but it's really not what it usually is with Illinois, deep in the trenches. They lost a second-round pick on their D-line from last year. And as long as, Illinois doesn't have a chance to score, as long as we control the clock and force them into, short fields, Nebraska should have no problem in this game.
Yeah. My next one is is get takeaways. And so at the end of the game, or at the end of the day, we've played really, really good defense against all these three teams. We've definitely got, a few takeaways in there. I would like to see more. Other than the pick six, right? Pick six was great against Colorado. The fumble, I don't really count because we're playing their backup quarterback at that time. That's a garbage time fumble against a guy who just isn't experienced. The UNI pick, cool. It's an FCS team. Same with UTEP. Cool. It's not a very good team. Last year, that was our biggest struggle. We were able to, create really, really explosive chaos on defense, but we never got to the ball.
Right.
We never created those turnovers. And so you got to create turnovers because turnovers is how you win games. And if you can give an offense with Dylan Raiola and, Dante Dowdle and Gabe Irvin, Emet Johnson, Emet Johnson, our receiving core, our tight ends, possessions where they start on the 45 going in, we're going to score a lot. We're going to score a lot of points. That also will in turn make, Illinois desperate. And then that'll just continue to help the defense. And so you just got to keep building on each other. Obviously, complementary football is a way to do that. But that all starts with, getting those turnovers on defense.
Yeah. My last one is play clean football. So you mentioned get turnovers on defense. My biggest one is don't turn the ball over on offense. Illinois' defensive stats, as I said, aren't anything special except for their turnover rate. They're forcing more than 3 turnovers a game. They've got 6 interceptions and 4 fumbles forced. Nebraska's only turned the ball over twice this year, 1 pick and 1 fumble. And even the pick, it wasn't like a bad read or anything. It was just a 50-50 ball that just didn't go our way. But we just can't afford to give Illinois more possessions because although they're not great offensively, they're efficient enough and they're going to score points with good field position. So if we continue to give them the ball in key situations, they're going to take advantage of it. They have a kicker that has kicked a 59-yard field goal this year, so they want to have one of the best kickers in the Big Ten. They're not going to really miss those. So playing clean football is of utmost importance in this game.
Yeah, my last one is it's going to sound like the opposite of that, but it's definitely not. And that's don't be afraid to play like ugly football, is what I like to call it. So I get it. Dylan Raiola is great. He's a wonderful passer, but don't be afraid for Dylan Raiola to end this game, say, 10 for 12 with 140 yards passing and a touchdown and go out and win it 24-10 and be in the driver's seat the entire time. Actually, don't be afraid to do that, right? We don't have to try to go out there and win this game 42-7. At the end of the day, if we win this 24-10 and we handle it, that's, all that matters. And, we can show that we can win football games like that. Be able to, just run the ball, establish the run all game, not just in the first quarter, not just in the fourth quarter. We need to chew the clock, literally just all game, as well as, on defense, just play suffocating defense. Make it feel like, in Colorado, where it felt like, they ran the ball, they got stuffed, they threw the ball, they're getting sacked. If they ever got a throw off, it's getting deflected or even intercepted. So suffocating defense and just wear down offense, I feel like don't definitely be afraid to do that.
Yeah, no, it's important to play aggressively, no matter what the situation is. And that's Matt Rule's kind of said that. He said, kind of in regards to Dylan, he's been pretty out there that just because he's a freshman doesn't mean we're just going to hold him back. Like, he's going to play aggressive football because he has the arm talent, he's got the accuracy, so he can definitely do it. So getting into our score predictions, Nebraska's currently, as of Thursday night when we're recording this, an 8-point favorite with an over-under of 43, so Vegas is kind of predicting a 25-17 win for Nebraska. Honestly, I think it's going to be a bigger win than that for Nebraska. I think Illinois is getting a little bit propped up because of their KU win, which I don't think is very impressive at this point, considering they forced 4 turnovers, and they only won by 6 points and only scored 23 points. Last week, they were only up 7 on Central Michigan at halftime. I think Nebraska gets after Altmaier. I think their run game dominates. I think Illinois is not going to be able to run the ball at all. And I think Nebraska wins 30-14 in this one, and the hype train reaches an all-time high.
Yeah, so mine is pretty close as far as the point spread there. I do think it's a little bit more low scoring. I do think we run the ball a lot more. I think we know that, Illinois can't really stop the run as well as a lot of people think they can. I think our run game is going to be able to get after them. I think we're going to be able to stop all their run game and also get after Luke Altmaier. I think we come out and we win this game 24-10. I think we're, like I said, always in the driver's seat. It's going to be definitely smash mouth football, but it's not going to be fun for them. From the first quarter to the fourth quarter, it's literally just going to look like we're the better team out there, I think. May not look like a blowout on the scoreboard, but it's going to look like a blowout on the field, I think, because that's the kind of game it's going to be.
Yeah, no, definitely. A lot of people are predicting a really close game. I just think people are not really familiar with Illinois, and I got the chance to watch them against KU live for bits and pieces as I watched the Nebraska-Colorado game as well. And I mean, KU ran all over them. It's just they threw picks when they shouldn't have, and obviously made a fumble. They had a fumble too, so it was a weird game, and Illinois somehow only won by 7, even though they won the turnover battle by 3. So I don't think Illinois is a very good team. They're getting propped up by some wins that I don't think are very good. They've played a bad Central Michigan. They played an FCS Eastern Illinois, and then they've played a KU team that's unraveling right now and doesn't look great. So yeah, I think Nebraska dominates. We both kind of think Nebraska dominates, just a little bit lower scoring on Zach's side. But make sure you subscribe to the channel, leave a like, hit the bell, follow all the socials down in the description. And yeah, Zach, you got anything else?
Not right now.
All right, without further ado, go Big Red.